This is Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Kof, and we are holding on Sadi Tessim and Beis. We're about 13 lines from the bottom, the two dots, in which the Gemara says Api Kairis. All the learning should be an incredible zchus Rafua Shlima for Tinok ben Miriam Ahuva B'Soich Shar Chayle Yisrael. Says the Gemara, Abikaira is another one on the list of the Mishnah of one who has Ein Lo Chelek L'Olam Haba. So who is this Abikaira? Says the Gemara. Rav v'Rav Chanina. Ami Tarvayu Zemavazet Talmid Chacham. This is one who embarrasses, denigrates a Talmid Chacham. V'Yachrav Shimon Levi Ami Zemavazet Chaveiroi B'Fnei Talmid Chacham. He embarrasses another person in front of the Talmid Chacham. Says the Gemara. I understand he is an Abikaires. Cause someone who's Mevaz Talmid Chacham himself, which is even worse. It's considered one who is mamish like paskening, not la'alacha. So it makes sense that who's an abikaires if you embarrass a friend in front of the Talmid Chacham. But says the Gemara, someone who's mevaz Talmid Chacham himself is considered abikaires. Migalim panam b'Torah kigoyin mai. Someone who is megalit panim l'Torah, he acts incorrectly towards the Torah. What's worse than the actual bizui of the Talmid Chacham? Says the Gemara, kigoyin Menashe ben Chizkiah. Someone who embarrasses the psukim in themselves. What does that mean? So in that, Rav Chanina Amri Zemavaz Talmid Chacham. Shimon Levi Amri Zemavaz as Chaveira of Nei Talmid Chacham. So the same machlok is the other way. So bish on the man Zemavaz Talmid Chacham Atzam Megal Panabat Torah Avei. Mavaz Chaveira of Nei Talmid Chacham Abikaris Avei. That makes sense because it's a higher level. And the man Zemavaz Chaveira of Nei Chacham Megal Panabat Torah Avei. That is Megal Panabat Torah. Excuse me. Megal Panabat Torah Avei Bikaris Kigoin man. So Amar Rav Yoski Gonahani Damri Maya Hanu Rabbanon. Those who say, what do the Rabbanon help us? Man Hanu Le Rabbanon. Le Didu Karu. They study Torah. Le Didu Tanu. They learn Mishnayis. What benefit does that do to us? And it's a very penetrating Gemara. Because unfortunately, this is a line that many people repeat without any issue. Yeah, what does he help? Just sitting and learning Mishnah, just sitting and learning Gemara. We see the Gemara here is putting this at the highest and most treacherous of people. Amalei Abaye says Abaye, "Hi Megala Panabat Torah." Nami, what do you mean? This is so that's embarrassing the Torah itself. Chsev Labrisi Amalei Chuk Shemayim Barzo Santi. So Nachman Yizim Yalcha Nami. Shema Mina, this pasuk is a raya as well. Shenemar, Ella says the Gemara, 2 lines of the bottom on the Asif Kamei Rabbe, even Afalei Shemaitza. Rather, says the Gemara, you know what Abikaris is? He sits in front of his Rebbe, and when he thinks and remembers a teaching from a different place, and he says, this is what we said over there. He quotes the Rebbe in front of the Rebbe. But he doesn't quote the Rebbe in the most appropriate fashion. He doesn't quote, is this not what Rebbe said? But rather he just says it straight. That is his level of bizui. Rava Amar says, Rava Kionani Debevin Yamin Asya. You know what Abikaris is? Someone who's the doctor and the baby in Yan and Dami Mayanali Rabbanan Me'elam. What help will the Rabbanan do for us? Me'elam Leisharu, as we turn over to Kofam and Aleph says the Gemara, Me'elam Leishanu Lanu, Orva, what help have they done for us? They never forbidden us to eat a raven. V'lo asru lana yaina, didn't forbid us from eating a dove. So says the Gemara, Rava, a story about what we just said. When he would bring an animal, he wasn't sure if it was a treifa from the Medei Rabbi Yamin from before Rava. If he felt there was a reason to be mekel, Amar loho tachzu de kasharinu lechu erva. Take note, I'm making a mutter. Give chazu leitayim ali surah. Amar lo tachzu de kasharinu lechayina. You tell him, take note of that which it is, that he was able to determine the exact precise differences between heter and iser in such an animal. Rav Papa Amar, another pshat not be cursed. Kigon da Amri Hani Rabbanan. Rav Papa Ishtali. Rav Papa once forgot. V'Amri Kigon Hani Rabbanan. V'Esav Tanisa. He didn't say tomorrow Hani Rabbanan, those Rabbanan, but rather like those Rabbanan, and therefore to do tshuva he sat in fast. Continues the Gemara. Levi bar Shmuel v'Rav Huna bar Chia v'Kometzkani matfechois. Sifrei Devei Rav Huna, repairing the mantles of the scrolls in the yeshiva Rav Yehuda Kimoti Megillas Esther. Amri, they said, Ha Megillas Esther, Loi Bayi Matfeichos. Megillas Esther does not require a mantle, does it? Amri Lo, Ki Agavna Nami, Merci Ki Afkarusa, to not have it covered. Excuse me, the way that he said it, just the mannerism that he addressed the Rebbe was inappropriate. This is a level of Ikaris is not saying, did Rebbe say this, or such said Rebbe, but rather just suggesting a halacha. Rav Nachman Amar, Zakari Rabbi B'Shmai. No, you know what Ikaris is? Someone who calls the Rebbe by his name without the title. Damar Rav Yechon V'Iman Nenash Gechazi. Mishkar the Rabbi B'Shmai Shem V'Yemegechzi Adoni Amelech Zosi Isha V'Zebena Shechel Isha Yasser Yirmiyah Kamei the Rav Zera. So Rav Yirmiyah is sitting in front of Rav Zera, Rav Yasser V'Kamar. Osira Kadosh Baruch Hu Lo Tzinacha Mibeis Kodshei HaKadoshim V'Alav Kol Minei Megadim. There's going to be a stream, and there'll be all kinds of delicious fruit. Shenemar, as the pasuk tells, the pasuk in Yecheskel. V'lanachal yala al sfasai mizeh kol eitz meichel yavol alehu v'layitam period lechadash yivkar ki meimav min hamikdash heima yotzim. Let's go out of the base hamikdash v'yaperiod lemeichel v'alehu letrufa. Amlehu sabam yasher. That is accurate. This sounds like, says the Gemara, Hefkerer, Samleha, Haisi, or Kamisaya Lecha, Alishmi Lecha, Shmilecha, what is that? Bikaris? Ki Hadir Aser Rav Yechon Vikadarish, Aser Akadish Baruch Hu, at the end of the narrow lines. Lihavi Avanim Tavis Margali Yashehin. Shloish, Shemal Shloishim Amma, he started with 30 Amaz, Choykuk Bim Eser, Barum Esrim 10 by 20, Mamidim, Bishar Yushalayim, these incredible stones, Shenemar, Samdi Kadkoy, Shim Shoysayach, L'Sharech, Lavni Ektach, L'Goymer. Lagli Galavai Talmud, there was a Talmud there that he laughed. He found this to be so ridiculous. We can't find stones and pearls even the size of a small dove. Of course, we know our diamonds are teeny. Kule eye, such a massive stone. Mishkachina. Liyamim efligas sfinata bayam. A bunch of days, the sfina came overseas. They saw the angels making holes in the precious stones and the pearls. They asked the angels. This Hashem is in a stand in the mountain of Yerushalayim. Amrei Rebbe Drash L'cha Noel Lidraish Kev Sharti Kach Risi Amrei Reikam Larisi Loyamanta Amrei Gal Divrei Chachamim Ata. You're lying. You're laughing at the Chacham. Excuse me. Yav Ve'enei. So Gal Shalatzama is the incredible kayach of the eyes of Rabbi Yechon. Says the Gemara, we just said that how tall will the gates be? 20 amos. Meisvei, asked the Gemara in the fourth wide line. He says the Basik, I'll lead you very high. How high? Ramir Amar Matayim Amma, 200. Kishtei Kaimishal Adam, like 2 heights of man. Adam Arishan, excuse me. If you do Amar Kofa, Amma Keneged Echal V'Kaisalf. Shenamar, Shabanin Kinetias V'Gudalim, Ben Arayim, Ben Aseinu, Kizavius V'Chutavas, Tav T'Seichel V'Kaimer. Ki Kamer Rav Yechanan L'Chvi, when Rav Yechanan said, L'Chavei T'Veizika, he was referring to those who inherit, not, he was saying that Hashem will cut open the openings 20 amos high, not an actual open way, but rather just for the grandiose look. My Valeo L'Tshufa, says Gemara, what does it mean? Valeo L'Tshufa, that sleep should be for healing. Rav Yisrael Rav Dimi, Rav Chisda Chadam, L'Hater Peshal Maila. Chadam L'Hater Peshal Maita, down here. It's Varnami Chizgam L'Hater Pelam Ilmin. Machlokes, was it later pemata, the lower mouth, which is referring to a woman that your mekaimais will become able to have children. Chizkiah says later peilmin, the mouth of the mute barkavam later peakaris. Rav Yechanan Amar letrufa mamish. My letrufa, says Gemara. What is this trufa that Rav Yechanan speaks of? Rav Shmuel Nachmani Amar litoyer panim shabali hapeh. It's referring to brightening those who speak. Darsh Rav Yehuda Rav Simon kol hamashcha panav divrei Torah, but lemazeh you make yourself dark, difficult and there in this world. Like mavik zizim, you'll shine mamish like lightning bolts. Shemar meir kolavan v'ach or karazim. Amar Rav Tanchum Bar Chani lines down. The first line is Reb. Anyone who makes himself mariv, anyone makes himself pleasant on this world, he's mariv pani. Excuse me, no. Hamariv atzma el, he stars himself that he mamish doesn't eat because he's learning. Given the next one, so what's the maisa this char? Each sadik is going to give that which fills him up. Amar my time lo shchik by God at the dam Rav Mishri the Rav Bar Mari Asir Kadosh Baruch Hu to Chol Sadik. We have Gimel Meas Esrim Ilama is 320 worlds. Sheman Anche Eish was the same Amalei, and their storehouse will be full. Yesh Vigamachia 310. Last May of Esara Havei. Tanya, 3 lines. I'm on Rameir. You measure back. Tachseb says, "Avishal Chadri Vena Amar Vishok Chayav Shalomer Kain." Adam Naslim Layom Zabalam Levnei Le'inei Olam Hazeh. Kashchunas Lam Aliyam Salam Abba. Voksev Shem Mezayis Tachin Ata. V'Ata Yamar Kain Ezu Midam Ruba. Eza Midam Ruba. Midas Toivim Ruba. Midas Peranis Ruba. So again, which one is greater? Ezi Midam Ruba. Mida Toivim Ruba. Mida Midas Prani is. As we turn over to Kofam and Bey, says the Gemara, of course, Havi Aimer Midas Taiva Meruba. Of course, like Kadosh Baruch Hu's good attribute outweighs the Midah Prani Ais. No. Midah Taiva Meruba. Havi Aimer Midas Taiva Meruba Midas Prani Ais. Well, how do we know this? Midah Taiva. There's on the second line of Kofam and Bey. Vayitzav. Shaman opens up the heaven and they have that which to eat. It's prani is oimer v'arubas l'shemayim niftachu midas v'arubas l'shemayim niftachu. Over here it shows that it's going through doors or windows, whereas the first one through doors. Of course, doors are larger than windows. Briny is prani. Bimi is prani is kivi yisu v'yaru b'pigri and nashim apaishim. Kibai to Alasam loy sumas v'asham loy sechba. V'avidar on the chol basar v'eloi adam Moshe. That's Bar You put your finger in a fire in this world, and right away you get singed. Continues the Gemara at the 2 dots, 12 lines down. Even if one reads other books, no Tana b'sefer tzidukim. Rav Yisrael b'sefer ben Sira. Nam yasol make you carry them. They buy my time. Ilay mishav dechsev ben lo sintosh gildina me odini dol tezlo mashchil chavla. If the reason is because the specific stories are written there, that's a skin go to ruin. Elatzli yasei benura. Rather roasted in a fire of echol beitartin grisen. Eat it with 2 cakes. If you say the pashim shat, that I'm talking about fish skin, you don't want it to go waste in a chanami. Ella, but so what's your chiddush? The Torah also says this issue of loisashcha, so of course you shouldn't throw anything out. But if it's a medrash, I'm just telling us the normal way of doing things. What does it teach us? It teaches that one should not have bia sheloi kedarkai. That this is what one should not be learning. And it's Ben Surah, how he speaks over there. Says the Gemara of El Misham, der Sivba, Lavia Matmainis Shav, Mibach Tolisham Alayla. The Pasuk says a daughter is false treasure for a father, for worrying. He cannot sleep. In her childhood, what's the father worried? Maybe someone's going to seduce his daughter. Binu Rusel, when she gets older, that what Shematizana shall wiggling has the nose. Bagra Shemalotina say, this is Shema. Then maybe she's not going to get married. This is when she gets married. You know what the concerns are. Shemalo Yelabanim shall have children. Iskina Shematasem. Kisharim, as we could say, you know, the Yiddish Shemam always worrying, says the Gemara, quite the list of concerns. But I asked the Gemara, but I understand the Rabbanan also said the same thing. So we have Shar La'ilam B'Loizcharim B'Lo'Nikevos. Ashrei mi shabanim zcharav alad mi shabanis lekevos. Yes, you need both, but boys are better. El mishadach sev l'shayel dave b'libecha dekavri gavrin katel dave shlama amra daga b'leiv ish yisa chena. That worries in the heart of man, he gains by just telling them over. Rav Amir Ravasi says the Gemara, Chad Amar Yisi Chena Midai Toiv, Chad Yisi Chena Lachir. El mishadach sev mana rabim mitach beisecha. You should hold back. Mana Ram mitach beisecha v'lo akol taviak el beisecha. V'ha Rabbi Nami Amra Detani Rabbi Yom Lo Ma'oy Arba Adam Reim b'tach beisai. Why not? Shenever Reim l'Soreya. Al mishal l'sev zil dakon kortaman avad kohen esichsin l'nafach b'chsayo loisachi Amar b'mai echol lachma savmina. Man de Isle Mavarta Bedikna Kuli Varta Bedikna. So says the Gemara, we don't really have a concern. Kolalma Lo Yachli, the whole world can't defeat him. So this is from the Sefer Ben Sisra. We're gonna wrap it up, or 3 lines, from the white lines. Amar Rav Yosef, some more statements from Ben Sisra. Milim Al Yusa, this Beit Darshina, by the good lines we can darshan. Isha Tavamatana Taiva. A good woman is a precious gift. She's given into the brace of a Yerelikim. Evil woman is saras, is leprosy for husband. There is a place for divorce, and then the house could be healed. Continues the Gemara, Isha Yafam. Ashrei Ba'ala Misaber Yom of Kiflaim. Isha Yafeh, we have a beautiful wife, fortunate is the husband. Misyam Kiflaim, then the days are doubled. Continues the pasuk, hide your eyes from women of charm. Why? Panti Lakid b'Misuda, maybe we'll get caught up in their net. Al Tati Tabay Limsar, Limsach Imoyayin, V'Sheichar. Do not turn to the husband to share wine and drink. Keep it toyar isha yafya rabim. Many people are destroyed by the beauty of a woman. Ushchas have been destroyed. V'atzumim kol ha'regel, and all The victims are many, many people. Therefore, we'll leave it at that. We'll pick it up from Rabbi Mr. Hashem the next year. B'siyata Dishmaya.